vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
The roof is closed at Rogers Center. It is cloudy and there are rain showers in the area. So for the beginning of this game, A.J. Hinch and the Astros will play indoor baseball against the Blue Jays. Houston won the game last night 5-3, and they are swinging the hot bats right now. They have racked up 5 runs on 12 hits in the first game of this series, and they stranded 12 base runners. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Astros. Alex Bregman, the young third baseman, has a 7-game hit streak with impressive numbers, hitting .323 over those 7 games with 5 doubles. And then in the cleanup spot, Carlos Correa, the young shortstop, he has an 8-game hit streak, .355 with 6 extra base hits. Correa had a 2-run double in the 3rd inning in last night's game.
That is a lineup that Aaron Sanchez will face this afternoon. 23rd start for Aaron. Had his 10-game win streak snapped in his last start. That was against Kansas City. It was also the longest active streak in the major leagues at that time, and one of 6 double-digit winning streaks by a Blue Jays starter in franchise history. Names like Roger Clemens and Roy Halladay, Dennis Lamp, and Juan Guzman all did it. Aaron had that one snapped. Time to start a new one this afternoon.
Aaron went 6 innings his last time out against Kansas City. He lost 4-2 at the hands of Danny Duffy and the Royals. Sanchez is set. Springer's in the box. Here's the first pitch of the game. It's in there for a strike, and we are underway. Another sellout crowd on hand here this afternoon. 46,333 last night. Springer takes strike 2.
Fastball command, both sides of the plate to start the ball game.
George Springer was 1 for 2 in last night's game with 3 walks. Blue Jays did a good job against Springer down in Houston, and they kept him off the bases. Not the case last night. He came around to score 2 of the 5 Astro runs.
We talked about that, how tough the middle of their lineup is. You can make your job easier by keeping these guys off bases.
One away with the strikeout. Let's take a look at the defense for the Blue Jays, and it's a different alignment without Pilar and Bautista in the outfield. Del Siciliani making his 3rd start in left. Melvin Upton Jr. is in center, and Michael Saunders is in right. Donaldson, Tulowitzki, Travis, and Smoke around the diamond on the infield. Russell Martin's doing the catching today for Aaron Sanchez.
Day game after night game for Russell. This is his 85th start behind the plate, 92nd game overall catching for the Blue Jays. But we might see the backup catcher today, the day game after a night game. But John Gibbons said, hey, we just had an off day the other day. Russell can handle it.
This is Alex Bregman, the rookie 3rd baseman. I mentioned his 7-game hit streak, 10 for 31 during that hit streak. His season average at 172. Bregman last night was 2 for 5. Sanchez has not started against the Astros since last June. In fact, it was his last start of the 2015 season. It took place on June 5th right here at Rogers Center. Maybe his best start of his season last year. Pitched into the 9th inning, throwing a shutout.
He was getting stronger and stronger last year before that lat injury put him on the bullpen, and that put him in the, put him on the DL, and that put him in the bullpen. You're right, though, in his career versus the Astros, they haven't had much success against him. Just a 162 average.
There's a line drive to right. That'll get down there. Saunders will play it on a hop. Just like that, Bregman extends his hit streak to 8 straight games with a 1-out single.
Yeah, he couldn't buy a hit when the team was down in Houston. Swing over a lot of pitches, striking out a lot of weak contact. That was a week ago. He looks like a different hitter. That's a nice short stroke right there, using the whole field, shooting that ball the other way. That it doesn't overswing on that 3-1 pitch. You can see why he was so highly touted, why he was drafted so high by Houston.
That was just his 69th at bat, or excuse me, his 70th at bat. So he's starting to get his timing around. This is Jose Altuve. He's the DH this afternoon, just the 8th time he's been the DH this season. And if you want to know if it affects his hitting. He's hitting .440 as the DH. 11 for 25 with 2 homers and 8 RBIs. Altuve just 1 for 4 against Sanchez. He can hit a .363 average. He's got a 5-game hit streak.
And he hits and he keeps on hitting. 8 times he's had a 4-hit game so far this year.
There goes Bregman. The hit and run is on, and it's fouled into the seats, out of play.
You know, one of the things I think that Altuve does that's so imperative, I think, for great hitters, he's got great hand-eye coordination, but he's able to take the barrel to the bat on any pitch in the strike zone. A lot of times you'll see hitters with the same swing, and you have to throw the ball right where they're swinging. This guy goes and attacks the ball wherever it is, up and in, down and away, up and away, breaking ball, fastball, changeup. He can put wood on any type of pitch.
Altuve is 5'6", listed at 165. And there's a lot of dynamite in that small package. 1-2, 1 out. Down the right side, that is a fair ball. Down into the corner. Bregman is headed for third. He's going to be stopped there as Saunders plays it in. And Jose Altuve, you talk about plate coverage. He took that pitch away and just stroked it down the right field line.
That's what great hitters do. They can hit good pitchers, first of all, but he can hit any pitch in any part of the strike zone. That was a fastball that looked like it was going to get by him, but watch how quick he's able to cover that ball on the outside part of the plate, take the bat right to the baseball, and keep it fair down the right field line. Short swing. Look at that. He makes the adjustment while he is swinging, gets himself another extra base hit. This guy can flat out hit.
You did a great job of describing how Altuve takes the barrel of the bat to the ball, and that's exactly what he did on that double. 32nd double of the season for Altuve. This is Carlos Correa. Astros threatening in the top of the first. There's another drive to right. That's going to score 2. Correa is headed for second. Bregman and Altuve come in to score. And Carlos Correa gives the Astros a quick 2-0 lead.
They're young, they're exciting, they're athletic. They've got some guys at the top of that lineup now who can hit. Got to get those guys out before Altuve and Correa come up, or you're going to be in trouble. Another extra base hit for the Astros, another double. We'll play a couple more. Same type of swing. He's got power the other way. We saw him hit a double off the wall in right center field for a game winner in Houston. Just 21 years old.
The Astros are most effective in the first and second innings. They have now scored 79 runs in the first inning. That's 4th in the majors. They've also scored 77 runs in the second. They do an awful lot of damage early.
Better bring your A game early on against this team, especially the guys they have at the top of that lineup.
This is Marwin Gonzalez, switch hitter, batting left-handed. Inside, a ball and a strike. Sanchez last time out against Kansas City went 6 innings, allowed 9 hits. First time in more than 2 earned runs allowed in 9 straight starts. He had been so dominant.
It was also his first loss since Oakland beat him back on April the 22nd. And it wasn't so much that Kansas City beat him. They just played their game against him. Stolen bases, bunts, infield hits, clutch hits. Eric Hosmer had a clutch 2-run hit against Sanchez, but the whole thing was set up by the small ball that Kansas City played.
Ground ball base hits. 1-2. Breaking ball up the middle. Travis near second, throws to first in time. Correa goes to third base on the ground out. Carlos Correa with that double extend his hit streak to 9 straight games, and he has been top of the heat offensively as the top producer since June 20th. 49 RBIs more than Pujols Max Kepler of the Twins, Gonzalez, and Brian Dozier. And he's just now getting settled in, as Pat mentioned. 21 years old, his first full season in the big leagues.
Batting cleanup for a playoff type of team.
This is Evan Gattis, who's catching this afternoon. Gattis was the DH, and he had a 4-hit game last night. Gattis had a pair of doubles and 2 singles. Curveball and a good one.
That matched his career high, that 4-hit game for Gattis. It's the 4th time he's done that in his career.
Second time this year he's had 4 hits in a ball game. Strike 3 call. Sanchez comes back and strikes out Gattis. A couple of strikeouts in the inning for Sanchez, but Carlos Correa delivers another big hit. He's been doing this all season long. An opposite field 2-run double. Houston up 2-0 early. Baseball against Houston once again. Houston has a 2-0 lead before the Blue Jays come to bat in the bottom of the first. The good news is top of the order. Devin Travis has been hot, batting .305 for the season. Devin's got an 8-game hit streak, and look at those numbers. 16 for 35 during his hit streak with 5 extra bases. He's been terrific leading off top of this order. And Michael Saunders batting cleanup against McHugh. Saunders is 5 for 15 with a pair of homers and 5 RBIs. The Blue Jays need a big offensive day against Colin McHugh.
Started 5 days ago, gave up a season-high 10 hits to the Twins, but only 3 runs, 7 innings, but still lost. That's 3 straight losses for the 29-year-old right-hander for the Houston Astros. He's already faced the Blue Jays 4 times in his career. He's 1-1 with a very good earned run average at .320. Check it out, though. 25 in the 3rd innings pitched. He's had 27 strikeouts against the Blue Jays,
including 10 strikeouts the last time he faced them, August 3rd in Houston. 10 strikeouts in 6 innings. Devin Travis shoots it to right. Springer was shaded in that direction. He makes the catch. 1 up, 1 down. Well, we've got 2 of the best defensive teams in the American League, and they've got some real athletes in the outfield. Tony Kemp in left field making his 12th start. Teoscar Hernandez is in center, 2nd major league game. George Springer has 12 assists. He picked one up in last night's game. Bregman, Correa, Gonzalez, and A.J. Reed from 3rd to 1st, and the catcher is Evan Gattis.
No Jose Altuve. He's DHing today, so it's nice to have a guy like this. This is Marvin Gonzalez. He's made 50 starts at first. He's had starts at 2nd, 3rd, short, left field, center field. The only positions he has not played this year is right field and catcher. Jack of all trades, can do it all. Today he gets 2nd base.
There's a changeup for the 2nd strike. It's 0-2 quickly to Donaldson. Josh batting .294. He had a double in 4 at-bats last night. curveball, and that's his bread and butter. He's got a good hook.
Yeah, it's a good curveball. He likes to use that fastball up in the strike zone to set up that breaking ball. There are the 4 starts against the Blue Jays. 27 strikeouts and just 4 base on balls in those 4 starts against Toronto.
Cutter missed outside. It's 2-2. Home plate umpire. You could hear Doug Eddings say that was outside. This one's going way back and gone. Josh Donaldson, number 28.
Josh Donaldson with his 28th home run of the season, 78th RBI. No one on this team repeats their swing as consistently as Josh Donaldson. I think that's why he's such a good hitter. He can sit on pitches. He can repeat his swing. And I'll tell you, that bat stays in that hitting zone a long time.
Donaldson hit 2 home runs off McHugh to right field down in Minute Maid Park.
Those were on fastballs. This is a changeup right in his happy zone. And he got all of that one to left field. Change up, down and in. That's what you're supposed to do with mistakes. One more time, gets all of it, gets into it. He was out today taking batting practice with his buddy from his series, the Vikings, showing him some hitting tips.
He was putting on a show, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he hit some balls to the outer reaches of the upper deck here. Putting on a show and carried it right into the game. 2-1 ball game. Houston with the lead. Little chopper, that's going to roll foul. Edwin Encarnacion had a 2-hit game last night. He had a home run leading off the 9th against Will Harris, his 32nd of the season.
And a milestone home run for Edwin. He becomes the 12th active player to hit 300 home runs and the 11th Dominican Republican-born player to do it.
Sammy Sosa is the all-time home run leader of players born in the Dominican Republic. He's hit 609 during his career. I asked Edwin this morning if he'd heard from any of his countrymen about the accomplishment. He said no. He said, but it's a very satisfying milestone home run. Some great names on that list of the 11 Dominican-born players with home runs 300 or more. And Encarnacion. Don't let these 2 guys get hot. The Blue Jays need somebody to heat up again. Donaldson and Encarnacion capable of carrying the team on their shoulders all by themselves.
I'll tell you, if he could have got that ball airborne, it would have been 301. Cutter, that's elevated. You see that McHugh gets underneath that ball just a little bit, and that's why that ball stayed up in the strike zone. And Edwin smoked that ball into left field on one hop.
Well, we mentioned how efficient the Astros are in the first inning. The Blue Jays are better than the Astros scoring runs in the first inning. They have now scored 85 runs in the first. That ties them with the Red Sox for second in the majors. The Nationals have scored 88 first inning runs. And here is Michael Saunders with good numbers against the starter Colin McHugh. 5 for 15 with a pair of home runs. Been a struggle recently, but Michael hit his 20th home run of the season last night to give him a new career high in homers.
You know, the one thing that we have seen from Michael after we flash those numbers up there, yeah, the batting average hasn't been very good, but his at-bats have been good. He sees a lot of pitches. He doesn't fish for that ball off the plate. He hits himself in good fastball counts. And here's another one.
Might have been outside, but now it's a 2-1 count to Saunders. Michael had a 3-walk game on the homestand opener Monday night. He was 1 for 2 in that game with 3 walks.
Stay patient. When you get your pitch to hit, do something with it.
Working Saunders away. Josh Donaldson got the Blue Jays on the board in his first at bat. A long home run to deep left center. His 28th homer of the season, his 78th RBI. Edwin Encarnacion singled. There's 1 out for Saunders. Boy, he stayed back on that breaking ball, but lines it into the seats.
That's what you want to do on that slow curveball that you'll get from Colin McHugh. Just don't commit. Recognize it out of his hand early. Sit back and then wait for it to break. Tell you, if there's a ground ball to the right side of the infield, this is going to be an interesting way to try and turn the double play for the Astros. That's the third baseman, Alex Bregman, playing at straightaway shortstop. Now, he was a shortstop in college at LSU.
Ground ball. Reed steps on first for the out, and there's the tag at second. So Saunders bounces into an inning-ending double play. But the Blue Jays get on the board. Houston scored 2 in the top half. The Blue Jays get 1 back with 1 swing of the bat from Josh Donaldson. 2-1 Astros.
Edwin Encarnacion hit the 300th career home run last night, and as was the case with Jose Bautista's 300th home run, a fan was able to catch it and they were able to retrieve it, and like was the case with Jose Bautista, they had to pay a little bit to get that ball back. The lady's name was Tiffany Bonnet, a humongous Blue Jays fan. As you can see, after the game, she got to meet Edwin Encarnacion outside the clubhouse. He signed it back for her. He said he was so thrilled to get the ball back. And guys, it is going to his father, as you'd expect it would.
Absolutely. He was very pleased, obviously. A tremendous accomplishment for one of the best power hitters in the game. And now he's got that great memento to pass along to his father.
Talked to some of the people in the hotel. His family was up in the restaurant when that happened, and said, boy, they were yelling and screaming and hooting and hollering. And I said, well, do you know why? I had no idea.
No idea.
I said that was a milestone home run. And he goes, well, no wonder they were all excited.
This is A.J. Reed. He started the inning-ending double play. He goes after the first pitch and hits it deep to center field. Upton's looking up. This ball is off the top of the wall. Upton's got a strong arm. Reed's going to have to slide. It was closer than Reed expected. He may have been Cadillacing out of the batter's box thinking he hit a home run. Melvin Upton's got a strong arm, and he threw a strike to second, made it closer than Reed expected.
And he knows how to play the ball off the wall. The ball was hit so hard by A.J. Reed. He comes out and he's going to be watching it. Not the fastest guy to begin with, but then sees the ball is coming back into play, and then he's got to get down. Melvin out in center field recognizes he can't get back there to catch it. He's going to play it off the wall, 1 hop. Throws a strike to Travis. It was close.
The Astros are on Sanchez pretty good early in this game. They've hit some balls hard. He's going to have to mix something in to take the sting out of the bat, whether it's the changeup or a curveball.
Yeah, they're on his fastball. right now. Altuve hit a fastball. Correa, now Reed. We'll have to start changing up.
This is Teoscar Hernandez. Made his major league debut in last night's game. He gets jammed on that fastball. The Astros have 2 runs on 4 hits already. They've hit 3 doubles against Sanchez so far in this game.
4 doubles in last night's game.
Ball on the strike, nobody out. There's a good curveball. Boy, Aaron was nice and patient with that delivery, not trying to make it break too dramatically. He just allowed it to come out of his hand, and it was a good one.
Stayed over the mound. Let that arm catch up to him. Got to finish him off without that runner advancing.
Upstairs, Hernandez checked his swing, according to Laz Diaz, down at first base. Trying to get him to chase that high fastball.
What a day it was yesterday for Hernandez. Woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning after he got the call that he was coming to the big leagues. Caught a flight to Salt Lake City, then on to Toronto. He didn't get here until about 20 minutes before the first pitch. Missed batting practice, had to go out there and stretch. And then he hit a home run.
Hit a home run. He was on base 4 times. He walked in his first big league at bat, came around to score the first run of the game. He homered in the 6th and then had an infield hit in the 8th. Pretty good debut for the youngster.
Wonder if he was able to sleep last night. Probably not, huh? Too excited.
3-2 pitch. Sanchez strikes him out with a good fastball.
Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Proud partners of the Toronto Blue Jays. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
It's an overcast day in Toronto. There are thunderstorms in the area, so people are protected at the start of this game with the roof closed here at Rogers Center. Tony Kemp hits it on the line down the left field line, and a fan grabs it. That'll be another double. Jeff Nelson, the third base umpire, turned around and watched the ball, and it kicked up some powder. This is a ball that the Blue Jays can review because the umpire had to turn around to make the call.
And John Gibbons is going to take a look at it. Yeah, you can review a ball that is behind an umpire. Fastball by Kemp. This thing is slicing. And he's going to turn, and that's foul ball.
That sure is a foul ball. So the Blue Jays have asked the umpires to take a look at the replay. But because the umpire, Jeff Nelson, turns around, the rules state that you have the opportunity to challenge the call on the field, and the Blue Jays have done that.
If that ball was in front of him, if it bounced in front of him, no challenge. But that looks clearly like they're going to overturn that one.
This replay review is powered by Samsung. The fans reacting to the ball up on the jumbotron here. Once again, Nelson's got a good look at it, and it appears to be clearly off the line, and it is indeed called a foul ball.
You were right. There was something that was kicked up, but it was all those little pellets that they have down in the turf here. So take the run off the board and send Tony Kemp back to home plate.
Well, that's always a good thing when you can take a run off the board. So Kemp will come back. He thought he had a double, and he did for a while. The Astros have hit 3 doubles already. Kemp starting in this game. He came into the game as a defensive replacement in last night's game. Actually, pinch hit and popped out in a bunt attempt. So it is 0-1 on Kemp. Bounce back to Sanchez. He will go to first and take the sure out. Reed moves over to third.
That's
two down.
That's the right play right there. He could have gone or attempted to go to third base, but you got a speedy guy like that. Keep him off the bases and 2 outs. He didn't even look at third base, which was the right play.
How much of his mindset depends on where you are in the ball game? It's just the second inning.
Right, and you're counting outs. If he turns and goes to third base and he's safe, now the Astros have set themselves up for a big inning. He did the right thing and just got the out.
Ball gets away from Martin, but not far enough for Reed to take a chance to come home. This is George Springer. He struck out on a high fastball his first time up. They mentioned Springer in his good game last night. He walked 3 times. He was officially 1 for 2, scored a couple of runs. And that carries over from his great day Wednesday in Minnesota. Actually, it was Thursday, the doubleheader. In that doubleheader, Springer had 5 hits. He scored 5 runs. He had 6 RBIs and 11 total bases. The last time any player matched those numbers in a doubleheader was Ben Zobrist in 2011. That's a big day.
Did Ben Zobrist do that against Minnesota also?
Yes, he did. Zobrist did it against the Twins as well. He had 11. Had 10 RBIs, and Springer strikes out for a second time. This time, Sanchez gets him with the hook. 2-1. Astros. Troy Tulowitzki will lead things off, then Russell Martin and Justin Smoke.
Baseball live on your phone and tablet with the MLB.com at-bat app. Customize at-bat to feature the Blue Jays and stay up to the moment at any moment with scores, news, live game video highlights, and much more. Download MLB.com at-bat. It's your #1 app for live baseball. And a good thing today, it's not a nice day to be outside today, Buck. There are tornado warnings all around the city, so it's good to be indoors and watch the Jays today.
And we are all safe and sound inside Rogers Center, and we hope that you are as well. Keep your eye on the weather. Troy Tulowitzki will lead things off for the Blue Jays. Takes a first pitch breaking ball for a strike. He thought it might have been low. Off the end of the bat down the right field line. Long run for Springer. He's not going to get there. We mentioned what good athletes the Astros have in the outfield, and they've got some guys that can really run.
That's one of them right there. Springer in the outfield. He picked up his 12th outfield assist last night, and he came a long way. Gave up his body right there to try and make that catch. He is playing Tulowitzki into the gap in right center field, so he had a long way to come for that pop-up.
You mentioned the assists. Springer is tied with Colby Rasmus and Jackie Bradley Jr. with 12 assists. That's second in the American League to Adam Eaton. Eaton of the White Sox has 16. A ball and 2 strikes to Troy Tulowitzki. Another cutter. This one's going to reach the seats.
He'll throw his share of cutters, Colin McHugh. He's got a 4-seam fastball that he'll throw up in the strike zone. That's one of the reasons why the Astros signed him. He was actually released a couple of seasons ago by Colorado. And Brett Strom, the pitching coach, is a proponent of the high fastball. They throw it up there, and that complements his curveball.
Tulowitzki hits a 2-hopper to third. Bregman across the diamond in time. 1 away.
Let's take a look at the scouting report and see what else Colin McHugh will feature. Fastball is not really overpowering, but he'll move it around the strike zone. There's the cutter about 30% of the time. Curveball, same type of percentage at 29%, and an occasional changeup every now and then. With 2 strikes, he'll use all 3 of those pitches, the fastball, the cutter, and the curveball. So you can't really sit on anything. And he's had some big strikeout games, like we said, against the Blue Jays.
Russell Martin fouls it up. Russell last night 0 for 4 in the ball game. He had a strikeout. Catching day game after a night game, and John Gibbons, as Pat relayed to you earlier, said, hey, we're trying to win a pennant here, and Russell had an off day on Thursday, and we got to put our good players in there without 2 of your regulars, Kevin Pillar and Jose Bautista. The other regulars are going to be asked to push hard. And as my old teammate Hal McRae used to say, you got all winter to rest.
You got 6 months to rest. Well, if you're the Blue Jays, you're hoping for 5. Because you want to be playing in October.
2. Fastball. It's 2-2 to the Blue Jays catcher. Colin McHugh began his career with the New York Mets. He was traded to Colorado for Eric Young. That was in June of 2013, and the Astros got him off waivers. Pretty good pick. Yeah. Last year he had a terrific season, winning 19 games. He was 19-7 in 32 starts.
And nobody talked about him because his teammate won the Cy Young. Dallas Keuchel was outstanding, but this guy was right there with him.
Full count to Martin. Another cutter dribbled up the third baseline and foul. Justin Smoke will be next.
He's been picking up his fair share of strikeouts since the All-Star break. He's been averaging about 11 strikeouts per 9 innings, up from 8 since the All-Star break. Using that cutter a little bit more, using his fastball a little bit more, especially on the inside part of the plate.
McHugh's had 3 double-digit strikeout games. His last start against the Blue Jays, he punched out 10 in 6 innings. He also struck out 10 Mariners and 10 Orioles. Martin draws the walk. A 1-out walk.
Super Slow-Mo Cam. Brought to you by Rogers 4K TV. Get closer to the action with 4 times the resolution of HD alone.
Justin Smoke 1-for-2 with a walk in the game last night. He goes after the first pitch, and this is going to drop for a base hit. Martin makes a turn. He'll stop at second as Smoke flares one into left.
Starting to hit the ball with a little bit more regularity. Had a home run the other day, had a big hit yesterday. This time he's going to fight off that cutter. He was telling me today, he says that's where McHugh likes to pitch me, that cutter on the inside part of the plate. I might have to go look for it. Fights that one off for a hit.
Melvin Upton Jr. This is where the Blue Jays really need to get some production, get some people on base, bottom of their order. They're always good when they can get that bottom third on base and turn the lineup over. And now with Pilar out of the lineup and Bautista gone for a while, well, they've got to have these guys step up.
Think about it last year. You know, everybody's talking about how well the Blue Jays hit last year, where their 8 and 9 hitters were so good last year. Kevin Pilar and Devin Travis. They would set up the big boys and turn that lineup back around. And you're right. These guys are important. Upton and Siciliani today. You need some big games from them. Need some production.
Oh, 0-2, 1 out. Martin at second, Smoke at first. To give you an idea how productive the Blue Jays were in the bottom of their order, last year they got a .280 average from number 7 on the lineup, .284 from number 8, and .239 from number 9. The number 8 spot in the batting order scored 91 runs.
And that was mostly Kevin Pilar last year.
Upton gets a piece of it to stay alive.
You get those guys on base and you turn that lineup over, and now you're facing the best hitters that the Blue Jays have to offer. That's when you can start to do some damage.
For comparison's sake, this year the number 7 spot batting .201, number 8 .252, and number 9 .219. Just not getting that same type of production to turn the lineup over and let that big potent top of the order do their thing. Upstairs, it's now 2-2 to Melvin Upton Jr. That's a curious spin move by McHugh. Martin not showing any signs that he wants to run.
And they're not holding him on, and he's not really a base stealer. I think McHugh just wasn't real happy with the signs that were going down and thought instead of just stepping off, he'd spin and fake a throw.
2-2. Upton swings and misses and strikes out. 2 away. A cut fastball. It's McHugh the first strikeout of the afternoon.
They've been increasing since the All-Star break, like we were saying, from Colin McHugh, averaging 11 per 9 innings since the All-Star break. Only Jose Fernandez, Robbie Ray, Yu Darvish, and Blake Snell have struck out more per 9 innings than this guy since the All-Star break.
Daryl Siciliani, the left fielder. Siciliani picked up his first hit with the Blue Jays. He had a double in last night's game. He was 1 for 3, struck out a couple of times. Siciliani at AAA Buffalo hitting .268 when he was called up.
He's incorporated a leg kick this year, and this helps him to time up this pitch. From Musgrove, hit it right off the wall in right field for extra bases. Gets his first hit this year as a Jay in the big leagues.
John Gibbons has said Siciliani is going to get plenty of opportunities in the absence of Pilar and Bautista. Blue Jays trail by a run. 2-1 Houston.
You know, if you have that type of leg kick like that, you got to make sure you get it down in time. It's a timing mechanism. It helps you to keep your weight back and time the pitcher, but you must get it down in time when you start your swing.
There are his numbers combined with his time spent last year with the New York Mets and this season with the Blue Jays. Outside, 2-2. Curveball called, strike 3. McHugh using a combination of cutters and curveballs, racking up the second strikeout of the game. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the second. McHugh strands a pair of Blue Jays. 2-1 Houston. To the postseason last year, and Alex Bregman was drafted last year, and here he is in the big leagues. And the Astros aren't afraid to go with young players. When you look at the building blocks of this team, they're all 23 or younger. The core of this ball club is pretty impressive.
They've had some great drafts. They've had some high draft picks over the last couple of years, and they are now finding their way to the big leagues. We saw Lance McCullers. He is shut down now with an elbow injury, but Correa's just 21, Bregman's 22, Musgrove and Reed are 23, and Jose Altuve seems like he's been around here for a long time. He's only 26 years old. So a lot of high hopes in Houston with this young roster.
That's a fair ball. Donaldson throws on the run in time to retire Bregman. Nice play by the third setter.
No time to wait around to see if it was fair or foul. You got to make that play and then wait for the umpire to let you know. Josh Donaldson makes that play as well as anybody, I think, in baseball, where you're coming in and throwing on the run. That one is called fair. Donaldson records the out.
Jose Altuve, the DH this afternoon, shot a double down into the right field corner his first time up. He goes up there with a swing mindset. He's aggressive.
Well, he's got the small strike zone to begin with, right? So it's tough to pitch to him. But you throw that ball anywhere near that strike zone and he's ready to swing.
Altuve wears out fastballs. He's hit .399 against fastballs this season. And when you look at him, he's 5'6", and the first impression you have was, I can overpower this guy. I'm just going to blow him away. Be careful.
No, he's got quick hands and he can take that bat right to the baseball. 4 hits away from 1,000 in his career. He is actually on pace, ahead of the pace of the 3,000 hit club of Paul Molitor, Pete Rose at this age, Nat Lajoie, and Rod Carew, ahead of the pace that they had when they were players, and they're all Hall of Famers, and they're all 3,000 hit players.
We've been there from the start. Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays, proud fan since 1977.
One out, Altuve at first. Carlos Correa drove in the Astros runs with an opposite field double. Altuve can run. This is a tough spot for Aaron Sanchez. Correa, a great hitter, and now he's got the added distraction of a base stealing threat at first.
He's not afraid to let him steal also. 26 stolen bases for Altuve. I'll make a correction. Pete Rose, I know, is not in the Hall of Fame, but he's a Hall of Fame type of career. Altuve is ahead of his pace, and he had the most ever.
Altuve is 26 years old, and everybody's projecting that if he stays healthy and continues to play every day, he may be the next 3,000 hit player. 2-0 to Correa. Altuve faked the break. Didn't look like he had any intention of running. He just wanted to put that thought in Russell Martin's mind.
Tell you what, it put it in the mind of the hitter. I think that froze Correa momentarily. Faked a break, and Correa took that fastball right down the middle.
There he goes. Strike called. Strong throw by Martin. Oh, right on the money. He's thrown out Altuve in each of the first 2 games of this series. He got him trying to steal third last night, and he throws a seed to second to nail him this afternoon.
And it had to be perfect. Look at the quickness from Altuve and where the throw is. Right on the bag. Tulowitzki catches it. The momentum takes him right to the foot. What a throw.
Russell has had a tough season in throwing out base runners. Last year he was the best in the American League. Coming into this game, he caught just 13.7% of the base stealers, but he's gotten one of the best twice so far in this series, Jose Altuve.
If that throw is just a couple of inches off, Altuve's got the stolen base, but it's right where he was sliding. Tulo was right there, didn't have to move his glove.
Full count, 2 outs. Martin wanted it. Sanchez wanted it. That fastball ran back toward the outside corner. Doug Edding saw it off the plate. 2 out walk to Correa. You can't go to sleep on Correa. He has 10 stolen bases. Marwin Gonzalez, the first baseman, he grounded out, excuse me, the second baseman this afternoon. He grounded out to second.
That's one way to diffuse the running game. Pump strike after strike in there.
Oh, and 2. Ground ball. Big hop for Travis. He throws to first. The inning is over. Well, good defense from the Blue Jays. Russell Martin has caught Jose Altuve twice in this series. He's only been caught 7 times all season long.
Sportsnet Now, a new way to live stream sports without having cable TV. Visit sportsnet.ca/now to start your free trial today. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Here's Buck Martinez and Pat Tabler.
Thank you very much, Barry. We move to the bottom of the 3rd. Houston has a 2-1 lead. Top of the order for the Jays, Travis, Donaldson, and Encarnacion. Devin goes after the first pitch. Devin lined out to right field his first time up. The Astros are shading him in that direction, both in the outfield and on the infield.
A little bit more in right field. Shallow, too, for Devin.
I think Springer can play shallow given his speed. Two and one now to the leadoff man here in the bottom of the 3rd. A.J. Hinch, the manager, and the Astros utilize the shifts more than any team in baseball. You can see he's got a whole stack of information about tendencies and trends and what Travis does on different pitches, different counts.
Can't shift Devin Travis. He just sprays the ball all over the field.
Lays off that pitch outside.
Try and pitch him inside. He's liable to turn on it, hit it down the left field line. You pitch him away, he can hit it down the right field line. Pop the ball out of the ballpark. He's got 10 home runs and less than 250 at bats.
Full count pitch to Travis. Covers that outside pitch. Eight-game hit streak with impressive numbers, batting .457 during the hit streak. Curveball, he drops in there for strike 3.
Number 20, Josh Donaldson.
It is Junior Jay's Saturday, presented by Boston Pizza. And thanks to our Junior Jay's announcer for introducing the players today. Just one of the many fun activities taking place on Junior Jay's Saturday, all presented by Boston Pizza.
That young man's got a chance to be an announcer.
That is Callan, and he did a nice job introducing Josh Donaldson. Big emphasis on the Josh.
On Josh. That was pretty good.
JD homered his first time up. Home run number 28.
He hit that home run off of a changeup. Let's see if McHugh pitches him a little bit differently now.
Third career home run for Donaldson against the Astros right-hander. He hit 2 in the game down in Houston.
Perfect pitch. Talking to some of the Blue Jay hitters today, they say nobody on the team can sit on a pitch, look for it, and hit it like Josh Donaldson. He hit that changeup like he was looking for it.
Gets a curveball and pops it in the air down the right side. A.J. Reed runs into an officer. A lady officer down there trying to get out of the way, and they collided. She picked up the stool knowing she had to get out of the way. That is not a fair match.
No. What did your coach tell you when you played? Run with your head up. Looked like she was running with her head down. And she met Mr. A.J. Reed.
Whoops. She went the wrong way. She zigged when she should have zagged. But everybody's okay, and she can smile about this, and you know she's going to hear it from her fellow police officers. Check swing, appeal down to first, no swing for Donaldson. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Well, where do you go? See, you got to run with your head up.
That backed up. That cutter was meant to be down and away. Another strikeout. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Aaron Judge is a big young man, 6'7", 275, and he hits a home run. He was just added to the roster today.
Yeah, they released A-Rod today and brought up Austin and then Judge. Aaron Judge.
Tyler Austin is 24. And Aaron Judge, he's also a young player, a prospect. We've been hearing a lot about Aaron Judge for a while. He too is 24 years old, so they have turned the page, trying to get younger in New York, thinking about the next dynasty. 2-1 to Edwin Encarnacion. He takes it inside. Now it's a 3-ball, 1-strike count.
Well, they're off to a good start. First major league at bat, and they both homer.
Edwin takes ball 4.
Number 21, Michael Saunders.
Good job, Callan. Tim, you better keep an eye on young Callan. He's making a bid for your job.
Tim, I was thinking you and me. Guy might want our job in a few years.
Michael Saunders hit into a double play his first time. McHugh with 4 strikeouts in the last 5 plate appearances.
Yeah.
He walked Edwin Encarnacion with 2 outs.
Yeah, 4 in a row, and then he wanted nothing to do with Edwin there. Pitched right around him. So I'll take my chances with Michael Saunders. And looking at the numbers, Saunders has better numbers than Encarnacion against McHugh.
Yes, he does, but he doesn't have the track record of Edwin. And I think McHugh says, you know what? I am smart enough to figure out. I saw him hit his 300th home run last night, and he singled off me the first time up. I'm not going to give him anything good to hit. It's a 1-run game. Saunders strikes out. McHugh strikes out the side in the third, starting to rack up the strikeouts. He struck out 10 against the Blue Jays last time he faced them. Here comes the Ultimate Cleanup Crew, brought to you by Home Hardware's exclusive line of the Ultimate hard-hitting and tough-on-grime cleaning products. That had the collision with A.J. Reed down the right field line. She was trying to get out of the way. Las Diaz says, "You okay?" "Yeah, I'm just fine." We want to remind you more baseball tomorrow afternoon on Sportsnet 360. It all starts at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. The Orioles wrapping up a 3-game series in San Francisco against the Giants. Wade Miley will go to the mound for the O's against Johnny Cueto at 13-3. That is tomorrow after the Blue Jays game. 2-1 as we head to the top of the fourth. Evan Gattis, strikeout victim his first time up. Nice hop for Donaldson at third. Sanchez starting to get the ground balls now.
Yeah, our first couple of innings, that fastball was a little flat, and the Astros were pounding it. 3 hits in the first inning, another double in the second inning. Now he's starting to get the grounders.
The Astros at the start of play today, 61-55. They're tied with Seattle at 7.5 back of the front-running Texas Rangers. Houston has won 4 in a row. A.J. Reed goes after the first pitch. Lazy fly ball to left. Siciliani makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down. Take a look at the AL West standings. The Texas Rangers 69-48. They've got a comfortable lead in the AL West. Seattle has played well lately. They have won 8 of the last 10. And the reason I bring that up is A.J. Hinch and the Astros haven't been able to solve the Rangers. They are 2-11 against Texas this year, while they are 11-1 against the Angels. But they haven't been able to beat the Rangers, and that's why they are 7.5 back of Texas.
They end up their last 10 games of the season, 7 of them against the Angels and the other 3 against Seattle. So they have a chance to finish up strong and maybe sneak into the playoffs again.
Teoscar Hernandez takes a strike. It's 0-2. Sanchez starting to get zeroed in. Good discipline by Hernandez, laying off that curveball.
That's what all the Houston people were telling me yesterday about him is his at-bats are getting better and better year by year. Still a young player. He was out there for anybody who wanted him last year for a Rule 5 guy. They couldn't protect everybody on their 40-man roster.
Sanchez strikes him out. Aaron getting zeroed in, just 7 pitches in the 4th. He retires the side end over. Now over to the offense.
You are in for a treat as we continue to celebrate the Blue Jays' 40th season. Tomorrow we will be honoring the great pitchers that have been on Blue Jay uniforms. It's the Blue Jays and the Astros. The ceremony will begin at 12:45, and among the pitchers that will be here tomorrow, Dave Steve, Pat Henkin, Roy Halladay, Juan Guzman. Guys, you go up and down that list and you realize there have been some really, really good pitchers that have pitched in Blue Jay uniforms over the years.
And we're going to hear from some pitchers that couldn't make the celebration as well. So it'll be a very good ceremony. All starts before the game tomorrow. The 3rd and final ceremony. Tulowitzki hits it high and deep to right, but Springer cruises back to make the catch just short of the warning track in right.
Yeah, they've had some great pitchers over the years. Pitch for the Blue Jays. Guys who've had huge seasons. Roger Clemens, Roy Halladay, Henkin, even the closers.
Roy Halladay was the 17th overall pick in a '95 draft, and he spent 16 seasons in the big leagues, 12 of them with the Blue Jays. Dave Steve, of course, an author of 5 one-hitters and a no-hitter. The only Blue Jay to throw a no-hitter. Pat Henkin won a Cy Young Award. It's a who's who of Blue Jays pitching over the years. Tom Henke, the Terminator, will be here, along with Dwayne Ward, Mike Timlin. Of course, we all remember Mike Timlin for the final out of the '92 World Series. Juan Guzman, a 1992 All-Star, 76 wins with the Blue Jays.
Did the Blue Jays, were they the first team that had 3 dominant relievers at the back end of the bullpen? Remember that in the early '90s, Timlin, Ward, and Henke? I mean, the game was basically over if you got the lead after 6.
Martin hits this one to right. Another play for Springer, and he handles it. Yeah, that's a great point, but you're right. They had 3 closers that come in and close out a game. Timlin, Ward, and Henke. And then after Henke left, Ward took over. And they were shut down pitchers. There was no question about it.
A lot like what the Yankees had going on earlier this season before they unloaded those 2 closers, Miller and Chapman.
Cedar Gaston always talks about Jack Morris's first game. He opened up the season in '92, and he was pitching in the 9th inning. And Morris was kind of laboring at the end of the game, and Cito came out, and Jack says, "I got this. So don't worry about it. I got it." And he finished the game. And Cedar says, you know, I got a couple of guys down there that are pretty good. And Jack would learn very quickly that Ward and Hinkie could handle those late inning situations.
It'll be good to see him. You and I ran into Wardo today down in the clubhouse.
I saw Stephen Henkin last night before the game, and they were all in town anxious for the celebration tomorrow. Justin Smoke had a single his first time up. He's behind 0-2. There have been some other pitchers here that have pitched very well. David Price and Aaron Sanchez, Roy Halladay, of course. Nick HOU is racking up the strikeouts after a slow start. He's struck out 6. We'll go to the 5th. Houston with a 2-1 lead. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio.
In the ballpark and enjoying those big comfy green chairs today in the TV comfort zone, our guests of TV. And fans, if you'd like to watch a game with a guest in the Blue Jays WestJet flight deck, here's how you can win some. You just follow the WestJet Fan Wagon in Toronto and you could be next. Follow hashtag WestJet Fan Wagon on Twitter for all the details. And guys, as you know, I had a chance to watch a few innings from up there yesterday. Great perspective, a lot of fun out there.
Fans are having a great time, and they can come into the stadium and then move into the WestJet flight deck and watch the game from there. Bounce back to the pitcher's mound. Tony Kemp retired on one pitch. Aaron Sanchez was the leader in ERA before he started that game in Kansas City, and he hasn't dropped much, but he's dropped into a tie for second place behind Danny Duffy of the Royals.
And that's who he lost to in that game in Kansas City. He had to be perfect because Duffy lost that game. As Duffy gave up just one run, but it's Duffy, Sanchez, Quintana, and Cole Hamels. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the American League. Sanchez, he looks like he's got it rolling right now.
Sanchez, Aaron Sanchez, in reference to the Cy Young Award. A lot of conversations about the possibility of some Cy Young candidates. George Springer, right now he'll vote for Sanchez as a Cy Young candidate. He struck out twice. Jay Happ also in that conversation about a candidate. Jay Happ himself, after his last start when he won his 16th game, said, you know what, we got all winter to talk about that. How about that? Jay Happ, here we are on the 13th of August, and he's got 16 wins. A 20-win plateau within his reach, and what a season he has put together.
He is just blown by his previous career high already. He's right, though. It's too early to be talking about numbers. It's not about individual awards right now. It's about trying to win and get your team into the playoffs.
But we can talk about it.
Yeah, you and I can talk about it. Those guys don't want to talk about it.
There's only one 16-game winner in the majors, and that is Jay Happ. Chris Tillman of the Orioles has 15 wins. Rick Porcello of the Red Sox with 15, and Steven Strasburg of the Nationals with 15 wins. Full count on George Springer. Alex Bregman is on deck, and there's ball 4. A 1-out walk. Third walk issued by Sanchez.
That hurts because he was ahead of Springer and then lost him and put some speed on the bases. And now you got to deal with the middle of this lineup.
The Blue Jays won the series against Tampa Bay to start this homestand. They lost the opener last night 5-3 to Houston. Carlos Bregman had a single his first time up. Sanchez all of a sudden has lost the strike zone momentarily. .11 hits in his 8-game hit streak, batting .333 over those 8 games.
He's reached base safely in 9 consecutive games now. Starting to show off why he was the 2nd overall pick in the draft just last season.
Bregman, 22 years old. Carlos Correa is 21. Lance McCullers, 22. He's on the disabled list now. He injured his arm pitching against the Blue Jays. A.J. Reed, the first baseman, is 23. Joe Musgrove, the starter from last night's game, is 23.
Your center fielder is a young kid, too.
Tasker Hernandez is 23. Jandel Gustavi in the bullpen is 23. They are loaded with young talent. Ball and a strike to Bregman. Sanchez needs a ground ball here. Get out of the inning and leave Altuve standing on deck.
Boy, that was close. Springer has run 15 times this year. You can see step and dive. He gets back just to that back edge of the base. That was close.
Fly ball to right. Saunders moving back at the wall, makes the catch, and Bregman gave it a ride. Making a bid for his first big league home run. Not out of the woods yet. Altuve will come to the plate with 2 outs, and nobody has been better than Altuve on the road. And look where he stacks up with the highest road average in Major League history.
How about some of those Hall of Famers on that list? Told you he's got 94 hits on the road this year for a .429 average. Harry Heilmann in 1925 has the highest average in Major League history for a full season, but Rogers Hornsby, Ty Cobb, Stan Musial below Jose Altuve. That's pretty impressive stuff. Boys digging deep, getting those stats.
All Hall of Famers. Harry Heilmann played 17 years in the majors and had a .342 lifetime average. And Altuve is in pretty heady company. He is 1 for 1 with a walk. Ground ball. Tulowitzki with the backhand throws right on the money. Nobody does it better from a running position than Troy Tulowitzki. He backhands it, throws on the run in plenty of time to nail Altuve at first.
Junior J Saturday presented by Boston Pizza. The kids were able to meet outside gates 5 and 10, weather of course permitting, for inflatables, activities, and lots of fun. And after today's game, the kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. And we heard the PA announcer earlier on in the day. Well, here's another cool thing that the kids get to do before the game. And check out Edwin Encarnacion, not just meeting the kid, but chatting with them and having a really good conversation. I imagine that is something that little boy is going to remember for the rest of his life.
So many of the Blue Jays, of course, are fathers, so they can appreciate what it means for a youngster to come out and stand on the foul line and stand for the national anthems. Edwin doing a terrific job. That little young man was well engaged in conversation with Edwin. The next Junior J Saturday will take place August 27th, so put that down in your calendar. It's a great day for the kids. Melvin Upton Jr. He struck out back in the second.
That's nothing like being a kid and being able to get down on the ball field.
How about that?
Remember it forever. John Gibbons was telling us that he was an Astro buddy. Remember that when he was a little kid?
We're trying to find a picture of John Gibbons as an Astro buddy. And I know John's mom watches, and Mrs. Gibbons, if you can send us a picture of John Gibbons as an Astro buddy, we would love it.
Yeah, we want to play a joke on him. That is what you were talking about with Edwin, engaged with that youngster, and they'll remember it forever.
Bouncing ball to Bregman at third, and Upton is retired, one down.
I know Gibby remembers that. It was the same kind of thing. The Astros did the same kind of thing, where the kids could come out on the field and be part of the pregame festivities.
John, of course, grew up as an Astros fan in Texas, and he's interested about this pennant race, obviously, and Blue Jays now half game behind the Orioles at the start of play.
He was talking about that today. He was asked, you know, what is it going to take to get to the playoffs to win? He said, you know, we've had great pitching all season long, but we've got to hit. You got to hit when you play in the American League East, especially the last month of the season when that's all you're facing.
Siciliani pops it up on the infield. The third baseman, Alex Bregman, makes the catch.
You're facing teams within your divisions, and you're just knocking each other off night after night. He says, to win, we have to hit. And you have to average, I think, in the American League East, at least 5 runs a game.
Yeah, that seems to be the magic number.
Yeah.
If you can score 5 runs a game. And when you look at the Blue Jays record against the other AL East teams, everybody's jammed up tight. Blue Jays are 7-6 against Baltimore, 7-6 against Boston, 7-2 against the Yankees, and 6-7 against Tampa Bay. So they are 27-21 against the AL East, and of course they're going to finish up in September with a lot of those teams. Devin Travis 0-for-2 so far.
That's where they took hold of the division last year when they went back to the American League East and steamrolled everybody in September. And they went into Yankee Stadium and swept the Yankees last year and really took firm hold of the AL East. Looks like the same thing's going to have to happen this year.
Well, and it's going to be interesting, of course. Blue Jays will go to New York Monday night, start a 3-game series. Monday, Tuesday night, Wednesday afternoon. And no Alex Rodriguez. That era is over. But you heard the youngsters getting off to a good start, and that is going to bring a lot of energy to that ball club. And you know what? The Yankees aren't out of it. Joe Girardi has said time and time again, I'm here to win games. They've won 3 in a row. They are 6 back in the division. And they are 3.5 back in the wild card race. Travis hits the curveball. Big hop for the third baseman, Bregman. Another good inning for Colin McHugh. He's retired 7 in a row. We'll go to the 6th. Houston with a 2-1 lead.
Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by Honda. A lot has changed in 40 years, but one thing hasn't. Honda, proud fan since 1977. Official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Indoor baseball here at Rogers Center. Another sellout crowd for the Blue Jays. They had a sold-out stadium last night. First game of this 3-game series. The Astros lead at 2-1. Only 7 hits in the game. Houston has 4. The Blue Jays have 3. It'll be Correa, Gonzalez, and Gaddis for Houston here in the 6th. Sanchez had an interesting matchup with Correa. He walked Correa with 2 outs in the 3rd. And after that inning, he got the next batter to ground out. He went in and talked to Doug Eddings, the home plate umpire. And he was talking about the movement on his fastball. He said, hey, don't give up on my fastball. It's got a lot of movement. There's a bouncing ball foul. And you know what? We talk about umpires all the time and their strike zones. And nowadays, since the umpires are under one umbrella, you don't have American League umpires and National League umpires. An umpire might see a team once, maybe twice all season long. So you don't know the pitchers like they once did when there were umpires that were dedicated to each league.
I haven't had a chance to check this out, but some of the Jays were telling me that Doug Eddings hasn't done a game for them since last year. Behind the plate. That was in Boston, if you remember that. Early in the season last year. Around May or June. That was the last time they saw him from behind the plate. So they haven't seen he hasn't seen Sanchez.
And another thing too is just like starting pitchers. Home plate umpires will be home plate umpires maybe 32, 33 times a season. Curveball hit high in the air to center. Upton back right at the edge of the wall, makes the catch. Correa gave it a ride. So the umpiring situation is interesting now, and it's changed dramatically. When you and I played, we had American League umpires and National League umpires. So you would know the different umpires, know the personalities, and quite honestly, you had a very good relationship with them. I mean, if you had a bad relationship with them, you knew it, and if you had a great relationship, it was really valuable. You knew the personalities.
And you knew whose strike zone did what. Did this guy have a big strike zone? Did he like to call the high strike? Did you have to stick with that breaking ball? You knew them, and you knew what type of games they would call them. So would the pitchers. Now, everybody's under one umbrella. And you might not see a crew but once or twice a season.
When I came up, of course, I had young Stevie Palermo come into the league, a veteran Nestor Shilek, Ron Luciano, Marty Springstead, just a host of great umpires. And we would have arguments, and full-blown arguments, and you'd never get thrown out of a game. They always used to tell you think you're getting thrown out? You're staying out here as long as I am.
You could yell stuff at them.
Absolutely.
And they let you have your say.
And they'd yell right back at you, but they wouldn't throw you out of a game. This is Marwin Gonzalez. Sanchez is ahead 1-2. Gonzalez has grounded out twice to the second baseman. He protects that outside corner on that curveball. Pat, you mentioned how versatile Gonzalez is. He's made 81 starts this season for Houston. 50 at first base, 6 at second, 15 at third, 5 at short, 4 in left, and he's played a game in center. I mean, that is so valuable when your bench is very thin because of the number of relievers you have to carry.
It allows you to carry that extra reliever if you've got a guy who can play multiple positions. The only positions he hasn't played this year is right field and catcher. And he was thinking 2 on that soft single to center field.
I think he broke his bat, hit it right off the end of the bat, but he found the hole and snuck it through the infield.
Pretty good pitch from Sanchez. Down and away changeup, hits it right off the end of the bat. Was able to sneak it into center field, and he turned it on once he hit first base and was going to try and challenge Upton.
Evan Gattis has struck out and grounded out. Blue Jays haven't turned a double play behind Sanchez this afternoon. Aaron's been able to locate his pitches much more effectively in this start than he did last time out against Kansas City. Ground ball. This should be 2. Travis to Tulowitzki. Back to smoke. It is an inning-ending double play. Sanchez gets the grounder he was looking for. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Donaldson, Encarnacion, and Saunders. The Blue Jays down by a run. Is brought to you by the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Josh Donaldson likes what he sees from Colin McHugh. He's got 5 hits off of him in his career. 3 of them have left the ballpark, including this afternoon's drive of the game. This is the Blue Jays' only run, second batter of the ball game. Donaldson with his 28th home run. And that's where we sit 2-1. Josh Donaldson has the drive of the game. See if he can drive another one out of here.
McHugh with 6 strikeouts through 5 innings. Breaking ball pulled to short in between hop for Correa. 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Brad Miller with 21 home runs, and he is now playing first base as Matt Duffy playing in his 2nd game for Tampa Bay at shortstop. He's going to be there every day shortstop now, and Brad Miller's going to play first. He's swinging like a first baseman.
Yeah, 21 home runs. You see how far that home run that Aaron Judge hit, that first Major League home run? 457 feet. That's the longest by a Yankee this season. That didn't take long.
How about those 2 youngsters coming up? They also did something that hasn't happened before.
How about that? 2 players hit back-to-back home runs in their first Major League at-bats. First time that's ever happened in Major League history where teammates went back-to-back in the first big league at-bat. That's what you were talking about going into a hornet's nest.
Yeah.
After this series, the Blue Jays.
Energized with those kids called up. And they're going to play. And the Blue Jays will see the Yankees Monday night in the Bronx. 3-0 count, green light. Just on the outside corner. You knew he had the green light.
Sure. He's the tying run.
Swinging a drive, left field line. It's hooking, foul.
You know, you tell yourself to wait back as long as you can on that slow curveball from Colin McHugh, but sometimes you just see it and you start your swing and you're just a hair too early. And that's what happens. Slow curveball, 3-1 count. Edwin tries to lay back and he knows he's too early.
Fastball, he'll take a base hit. Edwin is 2 for 2 with Milwaukee. He's been on base all 3 times. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Donaldson went deep in the first. Edwin's been on base 3 times with a couple of hits, and Michael Saunders now at the plate. Saunders 0 for 2 so far. And he bunts it, and it's a beauty. You just wonder why he doesn't do that more often.
Yes. He's hit into a double play and he has struck out. They are just giving you the left side of the infield. Blue Jays need some base runners. It's there for you. Watch this. There is no one in your picture there who's going to defend this. You can't see anybody. Just drop it down, get it by the pitcher. Oh, here he comes. He's not going to throw anybody out. They're handing it to you. Take advantage of it.
A.J. Hinch out to talk to the pitcher, Colin McHugh. It's a 1-run game. Blue Jays with just 5 hits. And A.J. Hinch makes the call to the bullpen. James Hoyt, the big right-hander, will come in. He made his major league debut against the Blue Jays down in Houston. He'll face Troy Tulowitzki with 2 aboard when we come back. Right-hander James Hoyt appearing in his 6th major league game. We saw him make his major league debut down in Minute Maid Park the last time the Blue Jays faced the Astros.
Yeah, he was just selected from their AAA team on August 3rd when the Blue Jays are down there. He's made 5 appearances. 4 of them have been scoreless. That's why that ERA sits at 1.69. He's a big dude, throws hard, and good slider. Got his share of strikeouts already, 7 of them in 5 1/3 innings. Pretty good stuff. Righties haven't been able to figure him out just yet.
Troy Tulowitzki batting with 2 aboard and 1 out. down and in. Tulowitzki missed the first 3 games the Blue Jays played the Astros at Minute Maid Park in Houston with that thumb fracture. He came back to play on Thursday, August 4th. He had a single in 4 at-bats in that game. Blue Jays really caught a break in a couple of situations. Tulowitzki was hit by a pitch against Baltimore on the 31st of July, and he had a fracture, but he only missed 3 games. And the other situation where they dodged a bullet, Josh Donaldson was hit in the face by Kelvin Herrera in Kansas City, and he didn't miss any time. Ground ball, foul, just wide of third.
Well, there's been a couple of close ones down at third base today. That one was right in front of the crew chief, Jeff Nelson. You could see him getting ready. Bouncing, and that ball's foul.
Encarnacion single. Michael Saunders dropped down a beautiful bunt. First and second, 1 out. James Hoyt in relief of Colin McHugh. Bounced in the dirt. 3-1 now.
Good job by Evan Gattis to keep that double play in order by just sacrificing his body on that pitch in the dirt.
Colin McHugh, 6 strikeouts through 5 1/3. The runners on base are his responsibility. Wow. Tough call on Tulowitzki. It's a full count. Russell Martin is on deck. Encarnacion with a 1-out single. Saunders with a bunt right behind Encarnacion. James Hoyt, the 29-year-old rookie. Another foul. Stayed on that breaking ball.
3-2 slider. At the time of his promotion, he was leading all AAA pitchers in strikeouts per 9 innings. He was averaging 15 strikeouts per 9 innings. Hard fastball with some movement and a late breaking slider. Tulo digging in, trying to find a good toe hold.
Tulowitzki with 19 home runs. Bouncing ball toward third. Bregman throws on the run in time to get Tulowitzki. Encarnacion and Saunders move up.
Bregman showing off the glove and an arm at third base. He hasn't been hitting much, but his defense has really kept him in the lineup. Look at this play. And a strong arm across the diamond. He made that thing look easy. It wasn't even close.
He's a natural shortstop that has adjusted very well to playing third. Russell Martin now batting with 2 outs. Good job by Gattis to smother that ball in the dirt.
That's twice he has done that. This time it's a slider. Get down and just block it any way you can. See, Edwin was anticipating that ball getting by him. Russell gives him the stop sign. 2-0. This is your chance right here.
Nice off a tough pitch. That running fastball missed down and in. Justin Smoak, the switch hitter, is on deck. Colin McHugh, an anxious observer, runs on second and third. His responsibility. Here's the 3-0 to Martin. Hoyt made his major league debut August 3rd against the Blue Jays. First two batters he faced in the big leagues, Kevin Pillar and Darwin Barney, he struck out. And Devin Travis reached on an error. Bautista walked, and Hoyt was able to get Donaldson to ground out to short. The Blue Jays have been hard pressed to come up with a big hit. Haven't been scoring many runs lately and haven't been able to cash in these run producing situations.
Need a big hit. Russell has come up with his share of big hits already for the Jays.
Swinging a drive deep to center. Hernandez back looking up. Goodbye home run. Here's a big hit.
The Blue Jays have been wanting a big base hit, and Russell Martin delivers for them. Oh boy, that was huge.
That closes the book on Colin McHugh. Russell Martin with his 9th homer of the season. The 3-run home run gives him 43 ribbies and gives the Blue Jays the lead.
Three and one, he threw him a slider, a breaking ball, and Russell missed it. This time he goes right back to the well with another breaking ball, and he doesn't miss it this time. It's elevated just a little bit more. And the Blue Jays now have the lead. One more time. Contact.
And let's don't forget the Michael Saunders bunt. A table setter behind the Encarnacion single. For Hoyt, he has now allowed 5 of 6 inherited base runners to score.
Came into this inning, 5 appearances in the big leagues, 4 of them scoreless. Well, that's over, thanks to Russell Martin.
Justin Smoak up the middle. Correa back on the shortstop side of the bag, makes a nice play. That ends the inning, but the Blue Jays take the lead thanks to Russell Martin's 3-run home run. A 3-2 breaking ball he hammers to deep center field. The Blue Jays lead it 4-2.
within the at-bat. I think Russell Martin made the adjustment also. This is the 3-1 pitch right here. It's a breaking ball. You can see he pulls off of it. He's just a little bit too early on that breaking ball. Well, he comes right back with another off-speed pitch. Russell stays back on this one. Kabam to center field. Stay back. That's making adjustments within the at-bats on certain pitches. Russell, the veteran, comes through with a big base hit.
For Russell, that's his second home run against Houston this season. His first home run came in a 1-0 game in the top of the 9th on August 1st in game 1 of that 4-game series to tie it up 1-1. Another big home run by the Blue Jays catcher.
I'm glad he saw that breaking ball now 3-1 so he could make the adjustment 3-2. You always hear people talk about, well, if he throws it 3-1, he's probably going to throw it 3-2.
Aaron Sanchez drops that curveball in there for strike 2. Blue Jays have given Sanchez a 4-2 lead. Joaquin Benoit loosening up for the Blue Jays. He has been the 7th inning pitcher when the Blue Jays have a lead.
Trying to soften some of that bat speed by throwing off speed pitches. That was another changeup right there to Reed. Doesn't want to walk him. Might challenge him right here with a fastball.
He does, and there's a high fly ball into shallow center. Upton is there, 1 away.
This Blue Jays Rogers 4K broadcast is powered by the Samsung 4K SU HD TV.
Oscar Hernandez, the center fielder, struck out twice against Sanchez so far this afternoon. Hernandez in his second big league game started the season in AA Corpus Christi. Went to AAA Fresno and then was called up prior to the game last night. Preston Tucker just on the disabled list with a bad shoulder. Colby Rasmus, their regular left fielder, he's got an ear infection. He's on the DL.
They released Carlos Gomez, or DFA'd him. So they have 10 days to find a trade or release him.
0-2 pitch upstairs.
So that opens up a spot for a young player like Hernandez.
'23-year-old center fielder by Oscar Hernandez. He had 219 last year in AA, and they did not protect him on the major league roster, so he was exposed to the other 29 teams in the Rule 5 draft. Sanchez pulled that one well out of the zone away. Aaron's thrown 92 pitches now. He'd love to get out of this 7th inning and then turn it over to the bullpen.
He has struck out Hernandez twice today with fastballs. Moving fastballs that came right back over the middle of the plate. He swung over the top of it. It looks like he's going to go back out there.
Another fastball, another strikeout. 6 Ks for Sanchez. Blue Jays at the start of play today, a half game back in the AL East. Baltimore beat San Francisco last night out in the Bay Area. Boston will play later on. They play Arizona tonight. Madison Bumgarner and Kevin Gausman, the pitching matchup in San Francisco. Baltimore against the Giants. The Orioles aren't hitting much, just about like the Blue Jays right now. They're not scoring many runs.
So you got to find different ways to win ball games. You know, with a home run or play good defense, get a good pitched ball game.
This is popped up. Tulowitzki out into the outfield, waves that he has it, and he does. Sanchez, 7 strong innings, allowing 2 runs on 5 hits. He leaves the 7th with the Blue Jays ahead 4-2.
On August the 26th, it is our next Friday Fan Festival presented by Bacardi. The patio will open at 4:30, that is weather permitting, and before the game you can check out a performance from Winter Sleep, or from Halifax, Nova Scotia, a Juno Award winner in 2008, great alternative rock band. And then you can check out the Twins and the Blue Jays. Go to bluejays.com for tickets. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry. Aaron Sanchez and Russell Martin, boy, they have teamed up for a gym here this afternoon. Sanchez doing the chunking, Martin doing the hitting. And the Blue Jays have a 4-2 lead. Aaron looking for his 12th win of the season. He got through 7 innings, and boy, oh boy, he was sharp today. John Del Gustave making the appearance here. And he takes over for Hoyt.
Here comes another one of those relievers who throw hard.
Not hard enough. Melvin Upton Jr. jumps on the first pitch and gets the base hit.
Gustave was signed as an undrafted free agent back in May of 2010, just 23 years old. He is known to reach triple digits with his fastball. A starter and a reliever in his minor league career, moved to the bullpen last year, and he was a all-star in Double-A for the Astros.
This is just his 2nd big league appearance. Daryl Siciliani. Upton looks like he wants to run, so they check in on him at first. Upton, 3 stolen bases since coming to the Blue Jays. 23 for the season, going back to his time in San Diego. Gustave is 23 years old. He's from the Dominican Republic.
He was just 17 years old when he was signed in 2010. Big arm.
Siciliani pops it in the air to center. Hernandez there makes the catch.
Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Proud partners of the Toronto Blue Jays. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
It's a 4-2 ball game. Another full house at Rogers Center this afternoon. Game 2 of this 3-game series against Houston. Upton at first. Not running. If you're going to run, this is a good guy to run right now with Travis at the plate. He handles the bat very well.
And he's not afraid to take a pitch and give you a chance to run. they've got a couple of guys who can score from first. Let's fire up the Grilly. We'll probably see him.
Well, the Grilly looks like he's stirring down in the bullpen, and there he is. As the Blue Jays call him, grilled cheese. Ball in the strike to Travis, and Upton is breaking towards second. There's the throw from Reed. It's a good one, and Feldman went on the first move of Gustavi. Unfortunately, it was to first base.
He was guessing that he was going to go home. And when you're stuck out there in no man's land, the best thing you can do is just go. You see he's trying to time up Gustavi. Crosses him up, and he is out at second base.
Caught stealing 1-6. 1-3-6 as Travis swings right through it. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Fly ball into right. Springer backing up. Now he comes in a step or two, makes the catch. Upton gets the leadoff single. He's erased on the caught stealing. Gustavi retires the Blue Jays as we go to the 8th. With a very good effort here this afternoon. He leaves after throwing 95 pitches. That gives him 7 innings. He allowed 2 earned runs on 5 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 6. A much different outing for Aaron compared to his last start in Kansas City.
I love the adjustment he made in game. They were on his fastball in the first inning, so he started using his curve and changeup just a little bit more, complemented his fastball, gave him 7 innings, and now they turned it over to Grilly. Jason Grilly, 4-3 with a .332 earned run average this season, combined with Atlanta and Toronto. That's 46 games. Worked a couple of games ago. He had a 1-2-3 8th inning. The oddity about that inning is he didn't strike out a batter for just the 2nd time this season, where he hasn't struck out at least 1 batter in an appearance.
That's a pretty creative sign. Houston, you have a problem. So Grilly on to work to the top of the order. It'll be Springer, Bregman, and Altuve. Grilly has been money for the Blue Jays, coming to them in May. He's really stabilized the back end of the bullpen and added some experience, and then his presence was complemented with the addition of Joaquin Benoit.
Couple of veterans who have meant a lot to the Blue Jays since they picked him up. Grilly in that 4-game series down in Houston. Last time we saw him, he pitched a couple of times, actually picked up a save in game number 2 and had a hold in game number 4.
As Diaz said that Springer checked his swing on the hard breaking ball. 2-1 now, the leadoff man here in the 8th inning.
We were talking about it after the ball game yesterday. These are the guys you want to keep off the base. Springer and Bregman.
Russell Martin with a big 3-run home run in the 6th. Blue Jays 4 runs on 7 hits. A couple of home runs, Donaldson and Martin. High fastball does the trick. Really strikes out Springer.
A lot of things have changed, but one thing hasn't. Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays, proud fan since 1977.
Lots of activity at the Jay shop here at Rogers Center. Really delivers a first pitch strike to Alex Bregman. Aaron Sanchez, 7 innings with 2 earned runs, drops his ERA just a point to 2.84. That's going to be out of play along the right side.
Looked like that ERA was going to rise after the first inning, didn't it? I mean, they were all over Aaron's fastball in that first inning. Bregman singled, Altuve doubled, Correa doubled. Then after the leadoff double by Reed in the second inning, Aaron started throwing more changeups, started using his curveball a little bit more. Zeros the rest of the way.
Aaron allowed a 1-out single to Marwin Gonzalez in the 6th. It was a broken bat single. That was the only hit Houston had after the second. He shut the door dramatically. That'll be enough. Aaron looking for his 11th win of the season. Bregman went around. Back-to-back strikeouts for Grilly. 2 outs. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. They had a little bit of a lull about 5-6 weeks ago. The Cardinals came within 8-9 games, and then they said, okay, let's turn it back on. Now the Cubs are 14 games out in front of the Cardinals. They have won 11 in a row, as Jamie mentioned. They are 41-17 at home. It's the best home record in baseball. And they are 8 games over 500 on the road, 32-24. A complete team.
Yeah, they finished it off with that trade for Chapman. Now they've got the dominant closer at the back end.
Jose Altuve doubled his first time up off Sanchez, and he walked and grounded out. Russell Martin threw him out with a perfect throw in the 3rd inning. Altuve trying to steal second. Russell's had quite an afternoon.
Yes, he has. You know, and we featured him too, day game after a night game. Right back in there, and he's right now he's the star of the game.
Russell with that 3-run home run gave the Blue Jays the lead and erased that 1-run deficit. Plus, he called a great game with Aaron Sanchez and threw out Altuve for the 2nd time in the series. After the game, they'll sign a few autographs and kiss a few babies and really have a complete day.
This on the heels of Thursday at the big poker tournament here, raised $170,000.
That's awesome.
For Jays Care.
3-1 to Altuve. Line drive to right. Saunders coming in. It gets past him, and Altuve is off and running. He's around first, headed for second. He's going to breeze into third as Michael Saunders had that ball get by him for Altuve. A 2-out triple, his 4th triple of the season.
It hits the ball all over the ballpark. You got to take a shot right there. If you're Michael Saunders, do or die. He comes in and just can't make the play, gets by him. So any way you slice it, he was going to be in scoring position. Well, he's at third base and the tying run comes to the plate. I think you have to sell out right there and try and end the inning.
Yeah, it was going to be a single at the minimum. He was trying to make a inning-ending catch and it got past him. The problem is now Carlos Correa comes to the plate representing the tying run. Correa with a 2-run double in the first, responsible for the Astros runs. I think there's a little experience going into that first pitch. Martin and Grilly starts off Correa with a breaking ball.
Keep it away from him, which they did.
Correa's double went down the right field line against Sanchez in the first. Roberto Osuna starting to crank it up down in the Blue Jays bullpen. Correa had a 2-run single in the 3rd inning last night. A 2-run double in the 1st inning this afternoon. Altuve at 3rd with the triple. Jason has made the most of a high fastball and a wicked breaking ball. That's a great combination.
Because he's always been able to spin a breaking ball. Right now he's trying to get into the mind of that young hitter.
Correa showing great discipline, lays off that breaking ball. It's a 3-2 count. Marwin Gonzalez, the switch hitter, on deck. Looking for that breaking ball. He had it timed up pretty well.
That's 3 in a row that he threw a. When I mean getting into the head of that young hitter, Correa's trying to do that with Grilly. It looks like he was sitting on that breaking ball after that last swing.
Strikes out the side and leaves a runner at 3rd. Blue Jays have a 4-2 lead. Now time for the Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Samsung Broadcast Studio.
16 Olympic Games coverage continues tomorrow. Tune in at 10 a.m. Eastern on Sportsnet and 9 a.m. Eastern on Sportsnet 1. Saw Usain Bolt run today, guys, and he could have really stopped, did a selfie, tweeted it, and still won the race. That's how fast he was.
It looked like he kicked it into fifth gear and just kind of coasted to the line. Josh Donaldson, he started the Blue Jays at scoring. Hit a home run in his first at-bat off Colin McHugh. Russell Martin hit a 3-run home run off James Hoyt in the 6th. Home runs accounting for all 4 of the Blue Jays' runs. Oh! 98.
How is it these guys keep coming up throwing this hard? I mean, every team has got these fireballers coming out of their bullpen now.
Hard breaking ball at 88. Yeah, it's really interesting how the world of baseball now is all about 100-mile-an-hour fastballs.
And they're everywhere. Every team's got them.
Goes into the seats, and Donaldson is thrown out at first, and that was a wicked, dangerous broken bat with a very sharp hand. And that fan right there on the front row, he looks to be okay.
Boy, that is a scary thing when that sheared off bat comes your way in the stands. One more time, fastball. Look at the movement he gets on that right off the label. Josh, all that's left in his hand is the handle.
Edwin Encarnacion, another look at that dangerous bat, and it hit that fan, missed the rail, but fortunately it was the barrel of the bat, not the sharp end, that hit him. One away, bottom of the 8th. Edwin's had a perfect day at the plate.
Got just a little bit too long on that swing. Trying to time up that fastball.
One and two, one out. They're in the 8th, and the Blue Jays have a 4-2 lead thanks to Russell Martin's 3-run home run in the 6th. John Del Gustave in his second inning of relief, his second big league game. Encarnacion called out on strikes. 2 away.
This Blue Jays Rogers 4K broadcast is powered by the Samsung 4K SU HD TV.
Just a little snack before dinner. Not a bad idea. Michael Saunders, well, he deserves credit for setting up Russell Martin's 3-run home run. He dropped down a perfect bunt down the third baseline, and the Astros couldn't make a play on Saunders.
Blue Jays needed some base runners. They did the right thing. That set the stage for Russell's home run. Astros are aware of that. They're bringing in their infield on the left side. Bregman, he's a little bit closer now than he was before.
He keeps backing up at third. Backing up into the straightaway shortstop position. Two strikes now, and Bregman will retreat all the way back at short.
That was the alignment when he dropped that bunt down right there.
Saunders strikes out. The Blue Jays go down in order in their half of the 8th, but we'll go to the 9th. The Blue Jays with a 4-2 lead. Roberto Osuna, the closer, coming on. Coming in for the save, and you talk about young guns, and we go all the way back to Terry Forster with the White Sox in the early 70s. He had 46 saves before the age 22 season. Roberto Osuna has 45 with an opportunity to tie Forster here this afternoon.
And he's well rested. He hasn't worked in 5 days. He picked up his 25th save of the season in his last appearance. That was against Tampa Bay. He gave up a homer in the Logan Forsythe, and that was it. Great numbers all the way around. 51 games now for Roberto. 51 in the 3rd innings. He's averaging 11 strikeouts per 9 innings. Junior Lake has taken over in right field for Michael Saunders.
So Osuna's on after a terrific inning by Jason Grilli. He gave up a 2-out triple and then struck out Correa with Altuve at 3rd. Grilli struck out the side in the 8th. Marwin Gonzalez takes a first pitch strike. Terry Forster in 1972 as a 20-year-old had 20 saves for the White Sox.
Osuna was the same thing last year, wasn't he? 20 years old, had 20 saves.
See Marwin Gonzalez telling Doug Eddings, the home plate umpire, that's not a strike. But it's a strike on the scoreboard. 0-2. Blue Jays looking to even the series at a game apiece. They'll complete this series tomorrow. Mike Fiers goes to the mound against Marcus Stroman for the series finale on Sunday. 1-2 to Gonzalez. Cut on and miss.
Marwin Gonzalez has just been thrown out of this ball game, questioning that 2nd strike. This is a slider down and in, and his slider has become much better. And as Gonzalez went back to the dugout, he had something to say to the home plate umpire, and he pitched him. Doug Eddings pitched him out of the game.
So A.J. Hinch, the manager, is out to get an explanation of Eddings and why he ejected Gonzalez. Gonzalez was headed back to the dugout, and his at-bat was over. A.J. Hinch wants an explanation from the home plate umpire.
One more time. Here's the strikeout, and here's what happened. He had something to say, and we didn't get a chance to see it, but he waved his hand like, "You're out."
So Hinch back to the dugout now, 1 out.
One more time, we should see it right here. You say something to him, questioning the strike. See ya. You're out.
Evan Gattis, the catcher, 0 for 3 this afternoon. He hits it in the air deep to right field. Junior Lake back and makes the catch on the warning track. 2 away. Another very successful formula for John Gibbons. Sanchez goes 7. Grilli pitches the 8th, and now Osuna on for the save. A.J. Reed hacks at the first pitch.
Roberto Osuna, you can't just sit on one pitch with this guy. He's got the great fastball, but he can also throw a slider and a changeup. He's unpredictable. He's got a great arm, and he can pitch.
To center field, Upton on the run. Siciliani at the wall and can't make the catch. He got a glove on it. Siciliani went up the wall and looked like he got a glove on it, but couldn't make the catch as Reed ends up with a double.
Keep us part of the ballpark. It's going to stay in play. Siciliani, I thought he had a shot at that. He timed his leap perfectly at the wall. One more time. Fastball driven to left center field. Upton's not going to get this one. It's slicing away from him. Siciliani's there. Dives, jumps. Just can't come up with it.
Looked like he had a shot to make a catch. In fact, may have gotten the glove on him, but couldn't make the play. A 2-out double now. Teoscar Hernandez, 3 strikeouts in the ballgame. He's late on that first pitch at 96. Hernandez homered for his first big league hit last night in the 6th inning. This is his 2nd major league game. Him up. Travis calls for it. Ball game. Osuna, his 26th save. He saves it for Aaron Sanchez, who wins his 12th game. Russell Martin with a great day. He threw out Altuve. He called a great game for 3 Blue Jay pitchers and hits the decisive 3-run home run in the 6th.
And the Jays take game 2 here, and they were looking for a big base hit. Needing a big base hit, and Russell delivered for him today. That's why you see the big smile on the face of the catcher. Blue Jays will go for the series tomorrow afternoon. What a game this afternoon.
The rubber match tomorrow. Mike Fiers goes to the mound for Houston. Marcus Stroman for the Blue Jays. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Stay tuned. Here's Blue Jays Central. Jamie and Greg, take it away.